Welcome to the Aligned Ambition Show, where we share women's entrepreneurial wisdom. Are you a woman starting or growing your online heart-centered business? Are you wanting to do things differently? Do you feel icky about using manipulative marketing tactics and are ready to align your business with your ethics, values, and life goals? If this sounds like you, then stick around for this conversation.
We're the dreamers, the believers, breaking through the mold, building up our visions with a purpose brave and bold.
Hello, hello. We are live for the Aligned Ambition Show, and I'm your host, Larissa Russell. And today I have with me Dr. Terri Levine. Terri is one of the world's top life, business, and marketing coaches. Terri is known for helping clients design their ideal life and then build a thriving business around their lives. So important, so important. He has over 44 years of coaching experience and has helped over 7,200 clients reach goals they never thought possible. One of the world's foremost coaching experts and has won numerous top coaching awards worldwide. So welcome, Dr. Terri.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here, and I'm in the right place because it's all about being heart-centered.
Exactly. That's exactly what we're about. And stop trying to do things that don't work for us.
Exactly.
Well, can you, for anyone who doesn't know you, although it sounds like everybody does, for anyone who doesn't know you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, but also why you do things differently?
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So, quick background, I started my career as a speech language pathologist. I had no idea how to do sales, marketing, or run a business, and yet I started one. And so I figured it out. And then I also owned an art consulting business and figured it out. And then I actually owned several other businesses. And then I made my big mistake, which was CEO of a national healthcare company for 5 years. It just wasn't my thing. And so when I started in the coaching and consulting industry, I started to hear how people were doing business. And it just actually made me sick, like to the point of wanting to throw up, like, oh, you have to learn the Ben Franklin close and the penny close and overcome objections. And I knew it wasn't for me. So I decided to disrupt the industry and to teach people how to do business heart to heart by reverse marketing. So we do business with integrity, authenticity, and transparency. And then if I look at the catalyst, like I viscerally feel it. I watched somebody at an event just pitch and then hardcore sell the audience. And I got sick to my stomach and thought, this whole industry needs a change and I'm going to do it.
I love that. It's so true. It's so true. And I know when I started online, especially, everybody had that one way and they were all similar, right? They were the one way. Yeah. And it's like, this does not work for me. And they're like, no, it's you're the problem. And it's like, no, this really doesn't feel good. Exactly. I don't want to be pitched like that. I want to connect with people. I want to know what they need. I want to really embrace that and then move from that space to help them. I'm here to help people. Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's all about, we want to make heart-to-heart connections. So if you just think about this, the cold DMing that goes on everywhere, would you just walk up to somebody randomly in the street and say, hey, do you want to have a virtual coffee? That's what it feels like. And why do you have time to have virtual coffees? I have time to work with my clients and to make contributions, not to sit around and have virtual coffees with people I don't know. So I really believe when you know your core values, you know your mission, you're really here to serve and transform lives, you're going to want to have heart-to-heart conversations. If I DM someone, it's going to be a heart-to-heart conversation. Like, Larissa, I just want to let you know, I just saw an episode and I really enjoy what you have to say. We're really aligned. And I just want to let you know, that's it. I'm not going to say, hey, here's like the booking link on my calendar. So that's what I really hope people are getting is it is time to transform. And the approach that so many are using, it's really not healthy.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. And, there are people that it has worked for to a degree, right? You might make money. However, how does it feel for you? How does it feel to do that? Right? If you're pressuring all the time, manipulating and all of those things that are so not heart-centered.
Not. And
that's how you feel.
Yeah, that's I'm glad you brought up feelings. I always say to my client family members, here's what I'm teaching. Here's what I recommend you do. Now feel into it. Which pieces of that resonate with you, and don't do the ones that don't. I had a client family member who was trying to imitate something like Gary Vee was doing. I said to my client, do you talk like that? Do you? No. I'm like, well, then your audience isn't going to respond to that either. How do you normally talk? And she said, well, it's not the way he does. Well, you're not him. Go be you, be a unicorn, be authentically who you are. And magically, she's attracting more and more of the right people because she's staying true to her own values. And I think that's one of the lessons we have to take.
Yeah, yeah. We always start with, the alignment piece in our mastermind that, what do you truly want? How do you want to show up? What are your values?
Yeah.
How do you want to live your life? Do you want to live your life like constantly on the phone with people? No, I'm autistic. I don't want to talk to people on the phone. But I love this. I love connecting with people and being able to talk to them and, different things like that. So you have to know those things. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, that's why I say start with a life plan. Like I preach, live well, earn well. You've got to live well first. When you get really clear on your life plan, you know your values, you know what you stand for, you know what you want your life to look like. I'm not going to sit around and chit chat on the phone all day with people. However, I'm going to make real connections with people in this way. I love it. And so you have to really look at what is your life plan? How much time do you want to spend? And what are the pieces of your life that are priorities? It's not all about work. Work is a piece of our life. It's an extension. And that is so important to me. So you've got to know your core values and your priorities first. Does that make sense?
Yes,
absolutely. I figured it would.
Preaching. Absolutely. And I think that's the biggest problem. I work with women typically are in their first couple of years of business and they've tried the things, right? They've tried the things they've been told to do and it doesn't work. And they think they need a new thing. And it's like, no, you don't need a new thing. You just need to find what you need. You need to find what works for you, what aligns with how you want to show up in the world. And it's really all about the connections. We're big on connections and collaborations and all those heart-centered feminine energy ways of being in the world, right? To be able to connect with people.
And when we can show up and be who we are authentically, transparently, in integrity, to me, that's what attracts people. I call it reverse marketing. People just come and they raise their hand because they like who you are. They like what you're putting out in the world. They like your energy. You don't have to be hunting for people every day. You don't have to be even spending a lot of money on ads and things like that or sending out a million emails. I literally tell everyone that I meet, start acting like a content creator. What can I do or say to help transform lives today? Even on social media. Don't just post, happy heavenly birthday to grandma in heaven. That's not relevant. I had peanut butter for lunch. You've seen all this stuff, right? Really give thought and create one solid piece of content a day. And I will tell you from that, we organically get anywhere from 9 to about 11 leads every single day. Just show up and be who you are. And the cool thing is, you're going to be you. I'm going to be me. And we might even be in similar industries doing similar things. It doesn't matter. People are going to choose the people they resonate with.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the reasons I love collaborations. It doesn't matter if we're all doing the same appears to be the same thing because we're not the same people. We're not going to present in the same way. We're not going to have the same conversations. We're all completely different. And that is one of the limiting beliefs I think a lot of new entrepreneurs have is that, well, I can't share and because they're going to take my idea. Yeah, they might take your idea, but it's going to end up completely different. Completely different than what you had.
Exactly. So, I was just asked this. I was on a podcast on Tuesday and they said, what is the thing that makes you happiest that happens in your business? This is my truth. When a client family member exceeds what I'm doing, because I just couldn't be happier. It's like, oh my gosh. And a lot of them are in the same niche that I'm in. So they're like, oh, aren't they competing with you? I'm like, no, because They're doing it the way they do it, and I'm doing it the way I do it. And there's plenty of space in this universe abundantly for all of us. So that's my joy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I I feel like I'm constantly saying there's 8 billion people on this planet. You do not need 8 billion clients. So you find your people, they'll find their people, and you
Right.
might have crossover because they have different needs from different people.
Yep.
But that's okay too, right? Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
collaboration piece. I will tell you, I refer to my clients refer to me. Some of my clients work more with startups. I work more with established businesses. Some of my clients work in specific niches. I work in others. It doesn't matter. Even in my Facebook community, we've got about 9,000 people in the community. And one day I said people could actually describe their business and post a link. And one of the members of my team said, "Oh, there's a ton of other business consultants." I said, "Uh-huh. Well," I said, "who cares?" So we have to kind of unlearn anything we might have been told about competition. It's co-opetition. Let's
Mhm.
all cooperate and let's give people, it's like flavors of ice cream. Let them choose which resonates, which they like best, and maybe they want one of each, and that's cool too.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that. I would be. I'd be the one of each. But
Me too.
so if you could give, other than these amazing tidbits that you've already given, one, one key piece of advice for women who know that these things aren't working for them and they want to do something different. What's that one thing? The one
So
starter thing, maybe.
yeah, what I would say is, what do you love to do naturally? Forget about attracting clients and making money, as weird as that sounds. What do you like to do naturally? I love to write. I've authored 40 books, so I'm a writer. So I show up every day doing what I love. Oh, I'm going to write a blog on LinkedIn because I love to write. I'm going to write some long form content on social media because I love to write. I'm going to create a newsletter because I love to write. I just do the things that I love. I'm going to tell you a story because I think this is relevant. A client family member who said all she really likes to do are Facebook Lives or YouTube or what. I said, okay, so just do that. She's like, oh no, because I have to be on this platform and that. I go, there's no rules about platforms. I'm not on every platform. So she decided to focus on YouTube. And this was back in September. And that's all she did was start focusing on YouTube and really had fun making videos that she was feeling good about. And she had like 5 subscribers. She messaged me a couple days ago. She's up to 5,000 subscribers. And then those people are signing up for her newsletter and those people are engaging with her. Do the thing that you love and
Mhm.
don't worry about anything else. That is my number one piece of advice.
I love that one. It makes so much sense because it's true. Trying to be in all the places, first of all, you're spread too thin. And second of all, it
Exactly.
just becomes overwhelming with all the things, all the
Yeah.
things. I know my first year online, I did all the things, right?
Yeah.
I wrote the books, I did
Oh,
the podcast, I did all the things and just about killed myself. Now I choose where I want to be. And lives are my thing, right? And so I love being here. This is what I do. And yeah.
yeah. We have to discern, forget what everybody else is doing, like get it out of your headspace and say, what do I love? What do I enjoy?
Mhm.
Because that is your zone. And when you're in your zone and people see you and watch you and observe you in your zone, they're going to naturally feel your energy. They'll come to you. That's reverse marketing. If you're not in your zone and I did all this too, forcing yourself to do all these things. I had a PR person and I was on all these major television networks. And I'm like, I don't even like these interviews. They feel really fake and I don't enjoy them. And I could tell the interviewer never read my book and could care less. That's not my thing. And I started cutting out, cutting out, and cutting out. And then I just got to things I love to do. I love to do interviews. I love to write. That's all I do. Literally, that is all I do.
I love it. I love it. That makes perfect sense. Absolutely. And so you've been coaching for a long time.
Very, yeah, over 30 years now.
And so, which I love. I feel like I sort of have been too, but mostly in my life. I've always was like coaching people in my life. But
Mm,
it becomes sort of this thing that people come to you for, right? For help.
Exactly.
Through that, have you noticed changes sort of in how you coach and in what you know, has there been shifts that you've noticed over the years?
Oh boy, there's so many, but I'll give you the biggest one. I really moved about 15 years ago to more of being a consultant than a coach. Now, I still incorporate all my coaching tools, right? I've got all those skills, I've got all those certifications, and I've got a big toolbox there. However, for me, I found that there are ways I can help people move faster and shortcut them by saying, wait a minute, let me tell you what it is you need. I'm in consulting mode. Here it is. Now I'm going to go to coach mode and we're going to talk about how that feels and how we can adapt that. So for me, the biggest shift was when I could put on two different hats and I could identify for clients and let them know up front, I'm in coach mode. I'm going to help you find the answer. I'm in consulting mode. We're going to shortcut. And that for me gave my clients faster transformations. And for me, it felt more like my position because I have a ton of expertise and I want to simply share that and not necessarily, if you did know the answer, what would the answer be? Well, I hired you because I don't know the answer. So I want to help people
Mhm.
in a different way. Does that resonate at
Yeah.
all?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I find that, yes, the idea of the coach consultant overlaps much more than even 5 years ago, I find. And maybe it's just the amount that I know versus, so I step into the consultant more often than I ever did before. But yes, sometimes there are times when it is beneficial for everyone if we stop, playing this game. What about this idea? How does
Exactly.
that feel?
Exactly. And I know that when I hire people, there are times that I actually want them to give me the advice. Like, can you
Mhm.
just tell me? And so I found that that was a big shift. I had clients that had been with me for a while that were like, this is so much better. I'm like, okay, it feels good to me. And so much, of course, would attract more people that wanted a blend.
Yeah, yeah. And I see you have a free gift for our listeners, our watchers, The Secret to Manifesting Your Visions, Dreams, and Hopes. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
This is such an interesting project. About a year and a half ago, a client said, the whole living well part, I don't actually get that. I'm earning well. Just write me a playbook. And I went, "Ah, I have to think about this." So I ended up writing this playbook for a client. And when she got it, she said, you need to share this with everyone because it's like a life manifesto. And once she went and did this, she said she really just lived her life differently. So it is the entire playbook. It's long, there's a lot to it. So it's almost like downloading a book. And the good thing about it, one of the things that I love is I ask questions in there. And if you're willing to do the work, it's not a lot of work. If you're willing to answer the questions, you're going to have transformations. It literally helps you manifest what you desire in your life. And once you have what you want in your life, it's really easy to have it in your business.
That is so true, right? They're not separate, especially for women. They are not separate. They are the same because we are not, um, we have to do all the things, right? We've got family, we've got our business, we've got, maybe we've got another job on the side, whatever it is. And having them all separate really doesn't work for us. And so, yes, absolutely, that we need that life um, in alignment before we can really align the business because it'll then all fall into place. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Hence why we do so much healing work in our mastermind because
that's
that's what we need to be working on. Otherwise, we're not going to move forward. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm aligned with that completely.
Yeah. I want to thank you so much. Oh, and the link is already below. So anyone who wants to grab that, you can. And it's down below in the description. For just as any final words that you want to share, final thoughts?
Yeah, I have one final thought, and that is women do business differently than men. And I'm not simply talking. I'm talking based on tons of research. I'm like studied books and articles in psychology on this. Our brains are wired differently. They are.
Mhm.
Um, don't go imitate what you see men doing. And I really truly mean that. Men are in a very, and I'm speaking in general, a hard push and manipulation and push, push, push. I find that our emotional intelligence and our ability to stay authentically in who we are, we're better listeners, we're more empathetic. And you can argue with me all you want, but I'm going to tell you biology tells us this, and so does neurology. Our brains are different. So just embrace your femininity. And to burn the curtain, when I was CEO of a national healthcare company, everyone was male other than me. And so I tried to fit in. I smoked cigars and I drank scotch. And then they even took me to a strip club one night. And then I'm like, okay, I'm not doing business this way. And it was a great wake-up call for me. And when I got in the coaching and consulting industry, I watched, and I still do, watch a lot of the male energy. And I see that female energy, especially the last 3 to 5 years, is being more embraced. So just be your badass, beautiful self and do you. That's
Yes.
my final thought.
Thank you. Because it's so true. The majority of clients for coaches are women. So using that masculine energy on women is not your best bet, right? Be your own self. I love that. I love that. So I do have your links below, but maybe just a shout out. Where can our listeners find you?
I'll tell you the place that I connect most, and it's my Facebook community, which is Heartrepreneurs. So you add an S to Heartrepreneur, heartrepreneurs.com. We've got about 9,000, mostly women in there, doing business together, getting a lot of help, a lot of support. There's tools, there's templates, there's checklists, there's trainings. So if you want to hang out in a community that is heart-based, we'd love to have you.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Sure. Thank you, Larissa. It's been a joy.
Yes. And for those watching or listening, thank you. And we will see you next time on the Aligned Ambitions Show. Are you a woman interested in aligning your heart-centered business with your ethics, values, and life goals? Join our Aligned Business Building Mastermind for accountability, like-minded women who become your business colleagues to share your journey with, resources and trainings, and so much more. Join us for 1 month free using the link below. Thank you, and we'll see you next time on the Aligned Ambitions Show.